I'm coming to you today to talk about patterns. It's kind of a heavy topic for me because I find myself going through patterns that I thought I had long since let go of. But that's how it works sometimes, right? I think we've all been in the moments where we're doing good, we're understanding things, we're on a new level, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in a pattern. Something that you know isn't right, something that you didn't even see, and then all of a sudden you find yourself there. Or maybe you did see it coming. Maybe you knew you were in it the whole time. I know I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of sitting in a place, and I just mean like energetically. I don't mean physically, although sometimes physically does apply, but you sit in a place and you think to yourself, is this really what I need? Or is this really what I want to do? Or I feel like I've been here before. Well, I'm here to tell you, you most likely have. But how many of us actually take ourselves out of the pattern? Now, it seems so easy, right? It seems so easy to choose differently. But I think we all know it takes a lot of courage to choose differently. It takes a lot more than just oh yeah, I'm going to choose differently, because what nobody says once you do choose differently, how often and how much you have to remind yourself to do that thing that you said you were going to do. So then, what happens, or what do we do when we know we shouldn't be in that thing that we're in, or doing that thing that we know we shouldn't? Or maybe it just comes up to show us that it's still there in some way. Well, what you do is you acknowledge it. And just acknowledging it is already changing the pattern. It's the first step in gearing up to let it go. Now, letting it go, that's a big concept. That means that whatever that pattern is, maybe it's a part of you that has been with you your entire life. And maybe you're at that moment where you realize it's actually not you. Never was. But then you have this other side of yourself that doesn't know whether they can let it go. But you did the thing. You figured out it was there. And then once you get comfortable with realizing that it's there, you take the next step. And the next step is changing a behavior. Okay, Ash, what do you mean change a behavior? Well, what I mean is, because you became aware, now you can choose differently. And I know I say choose differently a lot, and I mean it when I say it, but I mean even the smallest detail. Even it could be something so trivial, or at least what we think is trivial, like changing the color you put on your eyes. Let's say you put brown eyeshadow every single day, and that's a pattern. But you recognized it, so you go for purple instead, because something is telling you, I feel purple today. And for those that believe in color therapy, they'll know what I mean by that. But we change the pattern in just one small way. Or maybe it's you decide to get a different haircut because you switched it up. All of these little things are changing a pattern. And then when you change that pattern, that means you're changing a behavior. You're forcing your brain and your nervous system to relearn something, to relearn a different way. And that takes work. You're not going to 100% out of the gate get it right. You might continue to repeat the pattern, but guess what? It gets easier each time you do, until you reach the point where you just let it go. And sometimes these patterns are how we actually talk to ourselves internally. And that's exactly where I caught myself. I just had these thoughts, and I know we've all been there, where we just talk in our head about, oh, I don't look right today. Oh, you are not cute today. Ugh, you're not smart. But I'm here to tell you that those patterns, that little voice in your head that is forcing you down, is just that, a little voice. And it's up to you to change that voice. It's up to you to get out of that pattern. And the only person that can choose that for you is you. And I know that that takes courage, especially if it's a pattern that we've been in for our entire lives. But you have to really ask yourself, do I really want this for the next, you choose however many years? Is this going to make me the happiest version of myself? Can I continue living this way? Do I want to continue living this way? And I think if you find yourself here, there's a part of you that is thinking, no, I don't want that pattern. No, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm ready for something new. Or maybe not even something new, but something different. Because new and different may not be the same thing. I can wake up and think, I am the most amazing person on this planet. I am one of one. Whereas the day before, I thought, I suck. I don't think I have what it takes today. I don't think I can do it. But you know what the difference was between those days? I changed the pattern. I said, not today. Not today am I going to let that little voice control me. Or I even find myself sometimes in physical patterns. And what do I mean by physical patterns? I mean, I'll take my dog for a walk at the same time, in the same way, and I never challenge whether we go somewhere else, whether we try something new, or how I constantly think that she's the problem. When honestly, she's a normal dog. It's just in my head. That's my pattern. I think she's not normal, but she is. And so I sit here and I just want you to know that patterns are normal. Patterns are meant to show us all the things that we're working on, whether we're really ready to follow through on them, or whether we're ready to stay in the same pattern. And so the trick when these come up is to just see it, to just let yourself understand that it's here, that it's meant to show you a new way. And if you can't see that way, then try and let it go and start again tomorrow. Because sometimes, like I said, our patterns are things that we've had our entire life. And those things just don't go away after one night. Although sometimes they do. But you're worth it. You're worth understanding how to get past the pattern. I know I won't stop on my own journey of learning who I really am. And that means there are patterns that I still go through, even when I am so sure about who I am in this moment. I still have patterns that come up. And they're not always fun. But I know I'll always pick myself up and move through them again and again and again. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, wonderful week, wherever you are in the world. Sending you so much love. Bye.